Get in, girlies. We're going to blastfest. Hi, friends. I was in a bit of a time crunch, so I didn't even get to do the normal intro. Welcome to this vlog, blah, 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 because what is that? Oh, it's a leaf, but I don't have my glasses on. So yeah, here I am on my way to the airport for Blastfest weekend or Blastfest festival in Seattle. Super excited. I don't think I would have any other reason to go to Seattle otherwise, so I was like, let me just take this opportunity, check it, knock it off, so you know when they do those little what cities in the US have you been to, like I can check off Seattle, you know. So yeah, it was a bit of a scramble. I had a lot to do this morning. I didn't really pack last night. Like I did some preliminary packing, but like today was the day I packed, and something about packing the same day as a departure just doesn't sit right with me, and now I know why, because I just feel rushed. Even though my flight is at 4, so like I had the whole day, or not the whole day, because now it's like 2 o'clock. So I'm probably gonna get to the airport. My ETA on this Uber ride is $2.55. Thankfully I have digital ID and all of that fun stuff, so it should be an easy drop off of the bag, easy through TSA, and you know what it is. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna use the rest of this ride to actually call my mom, because I don't even think I told her about this trip, and like it's just been one thing after the other. So I'm gonna just really quickly call my mom and check in with you. That was nice and smooth. Check in with you at the airport. Bye. TBT to when I was like, I'll talk to you at the airport. Anyways, I'm in Seattle. And we didn't talk at the airport because I got there pretty late. The traffic was so bad. And I feel like I mentioned this. No, I didn't. But I had the same issue on my way to Greece, where like I normally budget like 30 minutes to get to the airport. And it's been taking like an hour. It's been taking like an hour. I need to stop scrunching my face because these wrinkles. It's been taking like an hour, so like it actually took more than an hour today to get to the airport. So I didn't get to the airport until like 3:07 for a flight that was supposed to leave at 4:05. I was a little bit concerned that like I had missed the mark to check in my bags, but it wasn't an international flight, so I'm like, it really should be fine. But I couldn't print my bag tags. Like I think it was too late for me to print my bag tags at the self bag tag place, so I had to wait on the line. And like one of the women who was standing on the line was like, it's too late, like you've missed the cutoff. And so I was like a little nervous about that. And normally when I'm nervous about those sorts of things, about like rules and regulations, I'll like go to the front and like be like, I think I might have missed the cutoff, like da 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 da. So I literally just go to the guy and I'm just like, I couldn't print my bag tags. Here's my boarding pass. And he was like, for Seattle? I was like, yeah. And he just went about his thing and tagged my bag, and that was it. No words said. So I'm like, lady, be quiet. Like I was totally fine. So, and the digital ID line was actually, this was the first time there was genuinely a line. So I'm going to stop talking about digital ID because more people are catching on to the fact that it is a quicker process. And I don't like that because this was the first time that I actually had to wait in a line. Normally, no more than one person in front of me, if at all. So I have a little edge control residue. So that wasn't fun. But so at that point, by the time I got my stuff through TSA, my flight had started boarding. And I had like maybe like a 15-minute walk. And that was a brisk, it really could have been a 20 to 25-minute walk. But I was booking it, so I had like a 15-minute walk to the gate. So it was straight, like it was from airport to bag drop to TSA, straight to the gate. That was the time that I arrived, and I got to the gate around like 3:40-ish, I want to say. So I'm like, all right, bet, all good, cool, chilling. We pull off from the gate, and then they announced that like there's an issue with engine number 2. I said, yo, please, please, please don't play that game. Please take us back to the gate. So we go back to the gate and they're like, they're going to try and do a maintenance thing to see if they can fix the issue. So basically like they just had to, and they had to see if they could fix the issue, what they had to troubleshoot what the issue was. they figured out what the issue was, and then they had to replace a part, and then they had to run a test or run a, like, you know, basically a test to see if the engine was now good to go. So all of that took about an extra 2 hours. We were supposed to take off at 4:05, and we got the clear to leave at 5:55, and I was sitting on the plane the whole time. I had the option to get off the plane, but I stayed on the plane because I was in first class. It wasn't nothing too crazy. Like, I'm gonna just sit there. There's no, where was it? Because they said if you got off the plane, like, you would still have to stay near the gate area. So it really wouldn't have made that much of a difference. As you can see, I'm tired. So yeah, and then we took off around like 6, a little after 6. So we got here around like 9 p.m. because 9 p.m. is like midnight in New York. So that was about a solid 6-hour flight. And I just broke my phone screen, which I'm really sad about because my phone has like lasted so long. I have 2 phones, my personal phone and my work phone. So I just broke the screen of my personal phone, which is like an iPhone 13. And I just took off insurance on that phone because I was like, no, I've had it, like, I quite literally have had this for like, whenever an iPhone 13 was like new. So probably 2 to 3 years at this point with no issues whatsoever. And I'm just sad about the way it happened because my Uber driver, like, didn't help me quickly enough with my bags. Like, my Uber driver, like, parked the car and I was like, all right, thank you. And they didn't, like, immediately get out of the car to, like, help me with my bags. So I was like, I guess they're not helping me. And in the struggle of me taking the first bag, they ultimately came to help me with my second one. But in the struggle of me getting my first bag out of the trunk, that was when I dropped my phone. And it fell face first flat onto the gravel concrete of the street. And normally it's not an issue, but I guess it's not an issue when it falls on like hardwood floor or something. But I guess the way it fell onto the concrete was just like not enough. So my phone screen is shattered. And the reason why I'm a little upset is because I don't actually want an iPhone 15. Like, I still want a 13. I actually just want my phone screen repaired. So I'm going to see how much it costs to just get my phone screen repaired because that's really all I want. I don't want a new phone. I have a newer phone. My second phone is a newer phone. I just want my phone screen repaired. So I'm going to see. Yeah, that actually shouldn't be too much of an issue to just get my phone screen repaired. So nothing too crazy. But I do want to give you guys a hotel room tour before I go to bed. Because this is probably the cleanest it's going to be. Well, not like the cleanest, like it'll be clean, but once I like open my suitcase and it's not going to give you a true assessment or evaluation of this hotel. But I really like it. I'm staying at the Latte Hotel in Seattle, and I booked it through my Amex Amex Platinum Travel, whatever. And I originally honestly was going to book this suite because this suite, I'm pretty sure, had this like complimentary third night if you book 2 nights, or complimentary third night. Like, if you book 3 nights, the third night would be complimentary. So you'd basically be paying 2 for 2. You'd be getting 3 nights for the cost of 2. But it was still like more pricey than I actually really needed, because I was like, nah, like, it's not everyday big suite. It's not everyday like whatever. So I was like, let me just book a regular suite, knowing that they're most likely going to upgrade me, because when you book with the Amex Platinum card through the travel portal, they will give, like, you almost always will get an upgrade unless the hotel is like fully booked. And that's like really rare. Like, it would probably have to be like, I don't know, you're going to like Afrotech and like everybody's in town and that hotel is fully booked. Like, it's very rare that a hotel is like booked at 100% capacity. And even if it is, like, I find that a lot of times, like, they'll still keep that room for you. Like, I just checked in at like, it's almost 11 p.m. I should have checked in at like 7. I just checked in at 11 p.m. and like they still upgraded my suite. So that's just a plug for how I know people have been asking me, like, how do you get the upgrades? It's a complimentary upgrade when available when you book through the Amex travel portal with my Amex Platinum card. So that's really how I've been getting the upgrades that I've been getting. So all of that is to say, like, I kind of knew that I was going to get this upgrade anyway. So I was like, why am I going to pay for the room that I could get a free upgrade for anyways? And if I had booked this room, I probably would have got an upgrade to like a bigger suite, but it's only me here. So like, and even as I am right now, I'm like, I wish somebody was here with me. Okay, let's do a little room tour real quick. So boom, this is the little entryway. We got a little, you know, this is very nicely done, this furniture here, a little mini bar fridge, the complimentary bottles of water, a little cocktail shaker. We're not making any cocktails, but still the coffee bar. On this side, opposite, we have the closet, which is really shades, which I guess I appreciate, because I don't know, but you know, all the usual iron, robe, what's it called, slippers. Those are my shoes. We come over here. I also want to call out how many mirrors are in this room. Mirrors, I don't know why I say it like that. Mirrors are in this room. So we have over here the work table. This is the work table area. Love a good work desk and a mirror. And then opposite, we have a little dining table, which I also love. I love the separation between a dining table and a work table, and another mirror. And then we have the, I guess, suite or like living room area with a huge mirror over here. Hey guys. Hey. And then we have a TV on this side that is backed by, you guessed it, another mirror. And then we have the sleeping area with another TV. So there are TVs on both sides, which is kind of cool. And then a full body mirror right next to the bathroom. And then we enter the bathroom, which is like my favorite part. The bathroom is the reason why I booked this hotel in particular. And yeah, mirrors everywhere, mirrors galore. I want to say there are like 10 mirrors in this hotel room alone. But I really do like, surprise, I'm surprised that this door over here is not a mirror, but I really do like this hotel overall, and I'm gonna go ahead and get some in-room dining and call it a night. So we'll check in tomorrow. Bye guys. Today has been an uneventful, but eventful in the sense that it has been a restorative day. I slept in, sort of. I woke up at 6, which is 9 a.m. East Coast time. So that is sleeping in actually a decent amount, considering the fact that, like, you know, woke up at 5. Woke up at 5, which is 8 a.m. Still sleeping in. And just like chilled, ordered breakfast to the room service. I've been in the hotel the whole day except for like up until now. Then I went to the gym and I booked a spa appointment because I was like, I've been meaning to get a massage for the longest time and have not been able to do that. And so I was just like, let me do that on a day where I don't have plans to go anywhere. So did that, and then came back and got ready for dinner with a friend who was also in town for blastfest. And we had leftover food that we were like, we should drop off at our hotel because when we get back from tonight's activities, like, we probably are going to want to eat it. So yeah, and now I'm waiting for her to come back so that we can go to the happy hour. So we're going to a happy hour. Let's see. Seattle feels very quiet right now. I'm not going to lie to you. So hopefully the people pop out for the happy hour at least, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about, like, Seattle is just a little different. Seattle is Seattle. I've been so bad at vlogging, but we're going to the festival, and I will debrief you on last night later.
If you ever been to Mexico before, make some noise real quick. If you got a Mexico passport stamp on you right now, make some noise.
Good morning, beautiful people. It is time for us to go home. This was a very short and sweet trip. And for that reason, I just need to debrief. I also couldn't do a lot of vlogging, I realized. If you guys know how to vlog when you are at places that are playing music that is copyrighted, let me know. But I realized, like, even at the festival, I probably couldn't even do that much vlogging because there was always music in the background. So I know I keep saying it, we're gonna debrief, you're gonna debrief. I think we're gonna just do a debrief when we get home. But for now, let's go home. Why, hello there. This is a chaotic vlog. Let me just say that. I don't really have a plan for this vlog. I thought I was gonna be able to debrief blastfest when I got back, but my Sunday evening took a turn, which we will talk about. I'm gonna keep this brief because I'm gonna try to keep this brief because my little brother is actually on his way to like do some things for me, and he should be here in about 30 minutes. And we can't do girl chat when the boys are around. So where do I start? Yeah, let's just start with why I didn't even like follow up with the debrief on the Sunday. Let's start with what my Sunday was like and what my Monday following that has been. I'm gonna preface this by saying, well, we have like a dating update / I like sort of alluded to it on TikTok, but again, we're in this place where like no one's really, the circle is smaller on YouTube, and as long as this circle stays small here, I feel like I can like say some things that I would not necessarily say knowingly to an audience of 370,000 people. Not that TikTok shows my content to all 370,000 people, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, I feel like, you know, the talks can be intimate, and, you know, hopefully they can stay this way. Obviously the goal is to grow on on YouTube. So to the extent that I feel comfortable here still sharing, because it's a smaller group and I feel like it's a group of people, like, you gotta really be invested to be messing with me on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie to you. You really, really gotta be invested. And on top of that, like, I don't know. I'm rambling. Yeah, so I had been getting to know someone, I want to say for 2 months. Yeah, for the past 2 months. I'm not gonna cry. Especially because I'm like about to do my makeup. I don't know why that made me emotional. I do know why. I feel like when you like say time out loud, it just like hits you. So I'm gonna talk slowly, and I'm gonna just pace myself while talking about this. And I'm also just gonna not, because I promise you, this person is not worth my tears. Like, I truly promise you. So I'm gonna, before I even get into that, I will say, you guys know, like, I love my privacy. And, like, I do love privacy, but I also just really love sharing my story. Like, I love sharing what I'm experiencing. I love storytelling. I love talking about and reflecting on experiences and journeys and things like that. And really, like, when it comes to dating, my main, like, dang, I kind of just messed up my brows. Not my main, but, like, sometimes it's about privacy, and sometimes it's just a little bit about fear, because I just am very self-conscious about, you know, the person who I'm talking about, or the people who I'm talking about, like, watching this video and realizing that I'm talking about them, and I'm just like, I don't want to gas anybody up in their head to give them a role in the story of my life when it shouldn't be that way. So that's part of it. I'm like, I don't want this person being like, oh, like, she's talking about me, like, whatever. But I also don't want, like, and it's not just about like this person in particular, it's about people in general. Like, I say very little about the time that I was in a relationship, because I feel like there are people who know me and know who that person was, and if I ever say anything in reference to it, they just like are gonna know stuff. And like, so sometimes I feel like I'm like slightly not robbed of my story, but let's use that terminology for lack of better words, that like I can't fully like share my story because like I'm thinking about or prioritizing or concerned, not prioritizing, but like I'm very considerate of that other person. And I know that like if other people know who you are, like I'm putting your business in addition to my business out there. Like, it's not just my business that I'm putting out there, it's also theirs that people can inevitably put together. But, and I've obviously just said it, I think this past experience that I've had has made me realize how much of a considerate person I am. And I say that because I think I, for a very long time growing up, for some reason internalized the idea that I was like selfish or not considerate or not thoughtful. If you go to like if anything, my first blog post on anygivensunday.com, like it's called The Meaning of Sunday, and I talk about how like one of the parts that I mentioned in the post is like I wasn't really a good person in college, or I don't think I was a good person in college. And like now in retrospect, I'm looking back on it and I'm like, perhaps I definitely could have been more sympathetic or empathetic to some of the friends that I had. I don't think I was as awful as a person that I think I was. And so I think for a very long time, and the reason is too, like, because I am incredibly goal-oriented, because I was incredibly hyper-focused on the things that I wanted to accomplish as a teenager, as a young adult, I like could come across as just like only focused on the things that I'm working on, and only like headed and looking in that direction, and therefore not caring about other people. And in my late 20s, I have come to realize, one, especially now that I have more financial resource, I really think what it was is I didn't feel like I was in a position to help or offer people anything if I didn't have my life together. And so it really was in my mind like, hey, get your act together, do the things that you have set your mind and your heart to do, so that you can help people, so that you can be someone that people can lean on or rely on, or that can chip in, or that can do, like, so that you are in a position to help people. And obviously money is not the only way that you can give, but I just feel like when you have that together, like it all just flows and you just feel like together enough to be like, yeah, I can help you. Like I can offer time because I'm not like freaking out about where my next paycheck is coming from, or because, you know, like, I don't know if I'm making sense, but I do think I am making sense. And so all of that is to say, like, this past experience that I've had has really honed in for me. Like, I am not a selfish person, and I'm not the selfish person that I thought I was. And I'm actually a very, very considerate and thoughtful and giving and loving person. Like, very, very much so. And it's making me emotional again. Ah! One moment. I keep forgetting that I literally don't have that much time, so we might have to continue this chat later when I can afford to cry. So I don't even remember where I was going or what direction I was heading in. But yeah, okay, so I was saying that because I am so considerate and thoughtful of other people and how other people might be implicated in my stories and the things that I share online, that is a huge part of the reason why I'm very private about my friends, about my family, about romantic partners, things like that. But it is my experience. And that's what I've had to tell myself. Like, it is my experience. One, the chances that they actually are watching this are really low. Two, it is still my experience. Like, and the things that I have to say, like, I'm not trying to, I can admit where I went wrong and where I was at fault. And so I'm not trying to create this picture of like being the perfect person at all. Like, I'm very much so like, I can own up to the places and will own up to the places where I made errors. I'm just too considerate, if there's such a thing. I think I actually am considerate to a fault. And so for that reason, I'm like, I always get really like scared to like say stuff and to divulge information. But I don't know. Another point is, it is my job. This is how I make money. This is how I make a living. And so in that regard, I could disassociate and be like, listen, this is what I do. Like, and you're not, if these people are not paying my bills, and sharing my story is paying my bills, and sharing my story is impacting people, then like, I really got to get out of it. But I also just, on a broader note, whether bills are paid or not, like, have to not care as much about what other people think. So yeah, my lips are chapped. I had been getting to know someone for the past 2 months, but it was not really conventional in the way that my skin has actually like not been bad these days. I'm actually like, ooh, why is the skin glowing? It's probably because I'm drinking water and minding my business. And pardon me if I say like a lot, pardon me if I say a lot. I say filler words like that when I am still just like processing and still not really sure of what I'm gonna say, and I don't have bullet points for this chat. I don't have bullet points for this update. I'm just gonna say what comes to the mind and what is on my heart. But it was not really conventional because it wasn't really anticipated. And what I mean by that is, I met this person on an international trip that I took. You know me. And like, when we met, like, there was like, you know, like, you could tell like interest or whatever, but I thought like it was just gonna be like, okay, this is my little like vacation, like, you know, vacation bay, like fling or whatever. And once I get back home, like, it's not really gonna be a thing. And mentally I was prepared for that. I didn't want that per se, but mentally, just given the reality of the situation, I definitely was prepared for it to be like, okay, once we get back home, like, it was great knowing you, you know, wishing you the best, no hard feelings, like, but, you know, whatever. And that was not the case. Like, oh my gosh, like, this person that like I really liked, that I met like, you know, out of the country, I now am seeing. I should add that they were based, that they're based in the US. I remember once, because I keep saying they, and someone was like, you keep saying they when talking about this person, like, are they multiple people? Are they gender non-conforming? Like, and I just keep saying they because it's a way for me to disassociate. Because if I say him, it feels very like I'm talking about him. So I am talking about him, but I'm saying them because, like, I don't know, something about saying them just makes it feel like distant, and I need it to feel distant right now. So yeah, we ended up hanging out pretty like over the first course of the month, or over the course of the first month, like pretty consistent with like seeing each other, hanging out when this person was in town, like but nothing like really serious. Mind you, you know me on TikTok, I've been outside and I've been going on dates. So like all the dates that I'm going on, none of these dates are like with this person. And I didn't really care because I think at this point I was just kind of like, like, you know, companionship, like, it's pretty cool right now. Like, you know, this is kind of fun. We'd like do work together. Like, we'd like, you know, have like work play dates type of thing. It would just be like that type of thing. And I'm just like, you know what, like, as somebody who is home by herself all day, every day, or as somebody who doesn't really interact with people that much during the day, like, it felt nice. That was the trap. But it did feel nice. And so again, remember, no expectations. Like, you know, I'm not really, oh, this NARS light reflecting foundation actually be doing light reflecting in the light. I'm not really, you know, pressed or at least I can't act like I'm pressed, because like, you know, I can't. I have to be the cool girl. I got out of that eventually. Like, you know, I was at a place where I was like, you know, like I can't really, I have to see what the man wants to do, or like I'm not gonna take the lead or whatever. But eventually, once I realized that we were spending a lot of time together, and once I realized like, oh, I was like, I have like not that much more time before I like full blown catch feelings about this person, for this person. So at that point, I want to say probably a little bit before the 1 month mark, or maybe around the 1 month mark, no, not even, it was like 3 weeks. I had asked them like, so what's going on here? Like, and again, you know how the TikTok girlies are like, if you have to ask a man like what direction it's going in, like that's a bad sign. Like, then that's probably your indicator. The TikTok girlies are right, and I just didn't want to believe them. I wanted to be like, no, like not every communication, like communicate. If you have to ask a man, I've learned after this, if you have to ask a man what he sees this going into, or what he believes is where he plans on having this go, that's a bad sign. And I know that because this whole time I'm going on dates with people, and one of the people that I'm going on dates with after date 1 was like, hey, just want to be clear, I really like you, and I want to communicate that I'm being very intentional. I'm looking for a relationship, blah, blah, blah. So he came clear with a whole paragraph about like, and that was after date 1. So like, I really knew better, because I quite literally had examples in my face of men who were serious and who were trying to be intentional. But like, I like this person. I like this person that's in front of me. We talk, we get on, like whatever. Something about it was just, something about it was low-key toxic. I'm not gonna lie to you. The things that I liked were like probably things that are unstable. And again, I've come to the conclusion that like, I just need to work on shifting my type. And that's also why I'm trying to get more dating experiences, because like, I just don't think I'm gonna work on shifting my type unless I date people who I wouldn't normally date. And that's tough though, I'm not gonna lie, because I go back and forth between like what I want, what I don't want. Like, I don't want to settle, or I don't want to force myself. Like, I don't want to force myself to date white men if I genuinely don't want to date white men. Like, that type of thing. So I'm like, you know, I don't want to force myself to date like a nerd, or to date like someone if like I kind of want like a cool guy. I kind of want like a charming guy. I kind of want like a suave guy, which ends up usually translating to being a bad boy. So let me just say that, and that's a problem. I keep turning back here because I haven't unpacked my makeup from Seattle. So a lot of the products that I'm using are actually behind me. That's why I keep turning back there. So at that, like maybe like 3 week mark, like we had, the amount of times that we had seen each other had been like not intense. It wasn't an intense amount, but like we're getting to the point where we're like FaceTiming unannounced. And I don't be you can't FaceTime me unannounced. Like, my mom doesn't even call me without like giving me a heads up. But now we're at this place where we're like FaceTiming unannounced and and I'm like, all right, what's really going on here? Because this is the summer that I'm supposed to be like dating people and seeing people, and like I might be kind of sort of getting hung up on you, and I need to know what realistically is about to happen or could potentially come of this. And so like, if you are telling me that you don't, like if you say something, even something of the slightest way that is like not clear or not intentional or not like anything like that, then I would know. I'd be like, all right, bet, like let's cut it right now. My brother's here, so we'll check in later. I'm back, y'all. Olympic men's volleyball playing in the background because we love to watch volleyball. But my brother's gone. We took our photos. I actually wasn't really feeling how I looked. Losing weight wasn't an intention of mine when I cut out like sugar and a lot of the things that a lot of the junk food that I had been eating. And it's weird. It's especially weird because people keep commenting on it, even though I haven't really invited commentary on my body, which is a very weird thing to experience at times. And I think like I've started to talk about it because people are asking so much, but I'm trying to find that balance of like, I'm trying to set boundaries. I've kind of already mentioned it in one of my TikTok videos before where I was just like, I still think it's very weird, to comment on someone's body when they didn't necessarily invite commentary on it. And it's one thing to be like, girl, you look good, or you look so good. And another to be like, how did you lose weight? How did you lean out? Like, da 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 da. And it's because like you genuinely like don't really, there's so many different reasons why people lose weight. And obviously like I'm well and I thank God for that. But like some people lose weight because they're sick. Imagine asking someone who lost weight because they're sick why, like how they lost weight. Like, or some people lose weight because they're depressed. Some people lose weight because they can't afford food. I don't know. Like there's so many different things that I'm like, to just like comment on that without it being like a point of invitation, or like it's not like I've been out here like, well, I think I mentioned it this past weekend at Blastfest. I was like, yeah, I've been working, like, no, but that's really only because so many people have been like, the gym is paying off, and I'm just like, I was always going to the gym. Like it's just weird. And I'm saying people who weigh more than me, who are bigger than me, have commented on this before, that it's weird to comment on people's bodily changes. But even if you think it is good, like even if you are in support of the way they look, or even if you want to look like them as well, I still think it's weird. And so I'm bringing this up because I like never really intended to lose weight. And I think it is weird for me to see in pictures how like small I am now. And I don't necessarily like it. Like I actually think I'd like to gain a little bit of weight back, because it's just like, I don't think I love the way I look at this weight. But again, like it's weird because it was never my intention. All I did was really clean up and cut down my eating, and this was the natural result. So I don't know. Now I'm like, okay, let me like start thinking of more ways to like, I might be one of the girlies that's like protein, like I've cut, and now it might be, I'm not going to call it bulk up because I've bought some clothes in this new size that I am. And so like, I'd like to stay this size because I've already invested and like started tailoring some things and whatever. But I'm like, a couple more pounds back would be great, because it just, I don't know that maybe I need to just wait and see, and like, but it's just weird for me to see. But so that's why I didn't take that many pictures. Or like I saw the pictures and I saw how I looked in them, and I was just like, I actually don't think I love the way I look in these photos, and I don't think it's anything about the lighting or the camera or the angles. I think it's just like this new body of mine. But where were we? Yeah, so I think we left off at like the date-ish part where like he was like, let's go on a date. And I was like, we should go on a date. We should actually like commence that formal process of getting to know each other. And I'm like, bet. And that happened before my trip to Greece and Croatia. That happened before my trip to Greece and Croatia. And funny enough, like I was at a place where I was a little nervous about that trip. Something just told me, something about like me being away for an extended period of time, and it wasn't even that much of an extended period of time, just made me feel like, oh, if I'm away, like by the time I get back, this person is gonna have lost interest, or they're gonna have like found somebody else. And I'm back in therapy, so I have a space to unpack this, but essentially my like triggers from previous dealings with people and my previous relationship, is that I've been in two like situations that were pretty defining, I think, for me, where the person like either stopped talking to me because they had met someone else, or like basically met someone else as soon as they were done dealing with me, and like entered a relationship with them, married them, like that type of thing. And for that to be like my first relationship, like the aftermath of my first relationship was pretty like overwhelming, because it's like not only not only am I dealing with my first breakup, but I'm also dealing with my first breakup where like the person happens to move on seemingly pretty quickly. And then my first breakup slash first moved on former partner also ends up marrying. So it's like, I've already checked off all of these boxes where it's like, yep, no, I have an ex that's married. Like, yep, no, this, that, and the third. And like, so I think that was a pretty like, it can be overwhelming to have all of those things happen in one go. Because of that, and because of another experience I had where the person, like, out of the blue, everything was going well, and then they suddenly ghosted and then popped back up only because I was like, are you okay? Like, I haven't heard from you. Are you good? Naive little me thinking like something was wrong, when in actuality it was just like, no, like, they just found someone else. And they let me know that they had met someone and wanted to pursue them. Of course, they did spin the block, but because of those two experiences, it's like a very sore spot for me for like the person that I'm dealing with to suddenly meet someone else, which is crazy to me because, and thankfully I had one of my friends come over last night and we chatted, and she was like, this person is not meeting anyone better than me. Like, this person, there's no way that this person is going places. And that's not to dog or put down other women, but that's just to be like, Annie, do you know who you are? Like, do you, like, have you, like, I might have to take these braids out because I feel like it's doing something for my edges, and I don't like that. Do you know who you are? Like, what do you mean? Like, she was like, I can promise you this person is not going out and, like, going to parties and stuff and, like, meeting women that are, like, light years ahead of you in some way, shape, or form. Maybe that's what it is. Like, sure, maybe you meet someone that you're, like, attracted to or, like, whatever, but, like, it was just a reminder of, like, Annie, you think you're some, like, little, small, like, unassuming, like, girl, and you're not. Like, you are somebody, dare I say that girl. Because it's definitely not a race to cut someone off. Like, that's not the goal, right? Like, and that's why I'm like, I will say, like, while there are things that I'm embarrassed about, and while I feel like there are things that, like, this whole entire video that I, like, did wrong, not to him, but, like, did wrong to myself. Like, I didn't honor myself in certain ways. I do feel proud of myself for certain things, and I'll go into that. But yeah, I tolerated a lot. I tolerated a lot of, like, inconsiderate at best, disrespectful at worst treatment. And I'm back in therapy to unpack why I'm so comfortable with just letting people disrespect me that I like. Like, why? And let me tell you something. These are not NBA players who are buying me Chanel bags and Birkin bags. These are not, like, CEOs that are flying me around the world. Like, and I'm not saying that, like, all of those things is what give you your value as a man, but, like, nothing was done for me in this whole situation. Like, nothing was done for me, which is why I'm like, bro, like, what? Well, maybe the thing that was done for me was companionship. But, like, dang, I'm lonely? Is that really what it is? Like, because I'm, like, is that what it is? Is that what's going, I'm so, like, craving or desiring, like, nothing was done for, like, I'm really, like, so yeah, I cannot be in this situation, in this position again, and I know better, and I think I was just, like, mentally caught up in a whirlwind of, like, oh, I like this person, and it's been the first time in a very long time that I've liked somebody, and But my friends have reminded me, like, I can't even afford that. Like, I am at a place, I can't do that. The things, okay, let's talk about the things that I am proud of myself, though. I feel like despite, I didn't stoop to an energy that wasn't my own true energy. And what I mean by that is, even if this person was taking, like, didn't respond for 24 hours, even if, like, I didn't hear from them, like, I wasn't gonna then take another 24 hours to respond. I wasn't gonna then, like, do some petty stuff. Like, I wasn't, like, the pettiness in my body has significantly reduced is what I've learned. Because I could have done petty stuff. I could have said petty stuff. I really could have gone for jugular sometimes, I want to say, like, but it's not in my nature. Like, I'm a good person. So regardless of what their energy was and whether I heard from them or whatever, like, if I saw the text message, I would respond. Like, okay, maybe I would take hours if I genuinely didn't see it, but if I saw the text message, like, I would respond. So I'm proud of myself for that, for not reducing my energy, or not like stooping to an energy that like was that person's. I'm proud of myself for communicating. I feel like I was so incredibly honest about my feelings the entire time, even when it was difficult and challenging, even when I didn't want to talk about my feelings. And I don't feel bad about liking someone. I don't feel embarrassed about liking someone. I don't feel like, I'm not ashamed to be like, yeah, I liked this person. But also another valid lesson that my friends who I like had over last night, also the other lesson is that I have the best friends. I quite literally have the best friends. I was talking to 6 different people about this update in my life, and every single one of them just like rallied around me with the voice notes and the responses, and even the like visit to me here. So like, I love my friends, and I just thank God for my friends, because like that is just like so sweet, honestly. And I feel so much better about like the debriefs and the talks that I've had with my friends since. But my friend who was here last night like really kind of reminded me, like, you kind of have to be careful who you, like, as in you as in me, like you as in me, any, like, you have to be careful who you allow in your life. Like, people are getting to say that they dated you. Like, people are getting to say, like, do you know how much, like, and me, like, I'm very humble. Like, that's one thing about me. Like, I'm very just like, who am I? Like, whenever people are like, Annie, do a meet and greet, I'm like, who are you coming to meet? Like, I'm just it's little old me. What, Kilo, what's going on? And so, like, she was like, sometimes I think you're grounded almost to a fault, because like, you're not thinking about how people can use you, or how people can benefit off of their access to you. And it's not even like they get anything tangible from you, but it's just like getting to say like, this is who I'm dating right now. Even that alone, because when I was thinking about it, I was just like, I didn't really tell people who this person was. Like, I didn't really like say like, this is who, like, this is what I got going on or whatever. But like, the same wasn't true on the flip side. Like, even the people that I allow to like, that I even say yes to dates to, like, it matters. It matters. All of it matters. And I cannot just be giving people access willy-nilly, because again, when I was just saying like, I didn't gain anything, I didn't benefit. Like, do you, like, no lie, like, do you know how much a guy could be bigged up by saying that they dated me? Like, for real? Like, I keep forgetting that I am somebody. And it's not even on some like, oh, I'm famous on social media or whatever. It's just like, I am this is the time where you like, it's okay, we can like be real and gas ourselves up. I am a well-rounded woman who just like has so much to offer. Not even just from a like, I have 2 Ivy League degrees, I'm incredibly smart, I am a beautiful woman, I take care of my body, I'm fit, I like can dress well, there's so many things about me. But then on top of that, like, I'm a giving person, I'm a nourishing, nurturing person, I am an undercover lover girl. Like, I do things, I give to the people that I like and love. Like, that is really it. So it's not even like, oh, and then on top of that, there's the, oh, she's a successful influencer, and oh, like, people come up to her and say hi when you're out with her, and oh, there's a lot of attention on her, and like, oh, like, many people want her, and like, oh, like, that sort of thing. So I can't, like, I'm still at this place where my mind is disconnected from the fact that like, a lot of the guys that like I might be like, oh, like, excited about, it's like, duh, they want you. I remember I was talking to my friend, and she was just like, I was like, oh, like, I like so-and-so was interested, and she was like, that's a given. Like, we are past that. You should know that when you walk into a room, like, you are probably going to be wanted in some way by like almost every man in that room. As long as they are not racist or colorist or whatever, like, you are probably going to be wanted by every man in that. She was like, we need to get past that. Like, we need to get past that. And I think I'm like still in a place where I'm just like forgetting who I am. And that was why I made that TikTok where I was like, I almost let somebody forget who I am. Like, whoa. I'm at this place where I'm like almost forgetting who I am, and I need to remind myself, like, even the first date, like, you got to be mindful of who you are even letting take you on a first date. You have to be mindful of who you are letting say that they had access to you, who you are letting say that they ended things with you, who you are letting say that they could not see where things were going with you. Like, you have to be mindful, and my eyes are open. And it's funny because I saw that a lot easier with friendship. Like, I always say, like, at this stage in my life, I think I'm a little bit more closed off to new friendships because it is very hard to decipher people's motives when they meet me, unless they have no clue who I am, and unless they like have no Instagram or anything like that and never get my Instagram. It is very hard to suss out like who would be my friend if I was not in the position that I am as an influencer. And it's very easy, like, and I've been able to easily internalize that on a friendship standpoint, but I hadn't really registered that from a dating standpoint. And that, like, a part of my vetting of certain men, or not certain, all men, has to be, especially if they know my Instagram and are familiar with who I am online, a lot of my vetting has to also include something to do with like me being who I am and like the place in life that I am. So that's just like something to think about, things that I'm reflecting on. I'm not crying, like I definitely, so that's why I didn't really do a debrief from blastfest, and that's why this whole vlog has taken a turn. Blastfest was cool though. I really, really enjoyed it. I couldn't record much of that because copyrighted music, but I really enjoyed that. Like, people were so kind to me. Everyone was like, I hope you enjoy Seattle. Like, everyone was really like wanting me to love Seattle. And I really, really did enjoy that. I think I think it's a really, really good festival, and I'm really, really like inspired by the fact that it even exists, because I'm just like, oh, this is somebody who's basically my age mate who's putting this on. Like, kudos. But what was I saying? Yeah, I have some growing to do in this regard, and I don't want to keep making this mistake of giving people a chance that like don't deserve a chance because they are just not giving the proper energy. Like, and yeah, I was gonna say, the tears or the crying or whatever wasn't because like, I don't think it was because I missed this person. Like, I don't think it's actually about this person. I think it is the return to the routine of like not having someone. But honestly, they actually made it a lot easier because the way they kind of started ghosting me towards the end, like I got used to not hearing from them and it was fine. So it's not even that. It really is just the hurtfulness. It's like when you thought you knew someone, or when you thought like someone would have, my friend, we always say this, that like there's a certain level of just like care that everyone deserves when you're dealing with them. And it's so that way, it's like the difference between like breaking up with someone over text versus like a FaceTime or calling them over. Like, there's certain things that you do to show that you understand that human beings and their feelings are delicate, and that like you understand the delicacy of who you're dealing with. And I will be the first to say I'm delicate. I'm a very like, don't view me as some hard, strong, whatever. I'm delicate. I'm soft. I need to be treated with care. I need to be treated like a fragile object. I'm not fragile, but I should be treated like a fragile object that you don't just toss anyhow and treat anyhow and kick around anyhow just because you think I'm going to be able to handle it. No, that's not me. And so there is a level of care that which you should treat people. And I feel like the hurtness that I felt was more so feeling like I wasn't treated with care at all. I don't really miss talking to this person. If I'm being honest, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I don't. And in the waves of like potential sadness that I feel, I just like stay busy, which is also my toxic trait that I need to unpack in therapy, which I have tomorrow scheduled. But I am excited to meet more people. That's really it. Like, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I know this was a very, very, very long vlog. At this one, it's probably over an hour long. But I promise I'm excited. I am very happy. I am receptive to the lessons of this experience. And yeah, I just never want to let a man be able to do that again. Is the lesson, like, no. Like, let's adjust the crown. Let's snap out of it. Like, but standing on business is hard. I'm going to say that. I'm going to probably end it on there. Like, standing on business is hard. Cutting off people at the first sign of, like, them not meeting expectations or them not giving you what you want is hard, but that is the place that it needs to be done. Like, at the first sign that you're not taking me seriously, I have to cut you off, because then I'm just setting myself up for more hurt. I also just want to say this is also just proof that God loves me still and answers prayers. Because, like, if I'm really being honest with you, this was not a person that I, like, really felt I should be, like, entertaining, if I'm being honest, like, on a, like, God level. And that's even, if anything, that's the bigger, like, point of honesty. Like, that was my biggest. And sometimes I'm just like, you know, what if I just took matters into my own hands, just, you know, for this thing. But yeah, I don't think I was particularly like, yeah, this is a person that, like, God sent my way, and, like, no, I definitely did not get that feeling. And because of that, like, I kind of was, like, afraid to talk to God about him. Like, I was just like, oh shoot, not something with my eye. I was like, I kind of, you know, when you, like, already know what your friends are gonna say, so you don't ask them. That's how I felt with God. I was like, let me just leave this out of the conversation, because, like, ain't no way. And finally, when I started experiencing, like, that disappointment and that frustration and all of that stuff towards the end, I was like, all right, let me talk to God and let me ask God. And I was like, you know that prayer. I was like, God, if it's not meant to be, like, please remove this person from my life, like, you know, whatever. And again, I had to pray that prayer because I don't think I personally had the guts to do it myself. And lo and behold, said person removed himself from the equation. Like, that was God. Like, and I'm just like, listen, that's still proof that God answers prayers. But we know God answers that prayer. We know he do. So I really think that's what happened there. Only God. That's really what it is. That's the takeaway. Only God. God still loves me. God still cares about who I deal with, who I interact with, who I date, who I marry. Like, so I actually need to chill. I really do need to chill. And I need to just, like, chill, really. And just, like, live my life. It's so tough. It is so tough. It's so tough, though. That's all I came to say. So, yeah. That was my weekend. Today's Tuesday, and we're back on the business. Thank you. This video is so long now, but if you're still here, thank you so much for watching and listening and just, like, hearing me rant and having this girl talk, and for coming with me to Blastfest for the little time that I showed that. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate you, and we will be back next time. Bye.